Brian, talk about this year to this point. I know, go back to the beginning, and it was anything but a ease into the season for you guys. You had a lot of stuff off the field. How difficult was that? And you know, getting here now where you're riding a 4-game winning streak, you got to be proud of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we had a somewhat of an inexperienced team coming in, but you know, in July to lose a coach and then also lose another coach to a heart attack, it was tough, and it was both on the offensive side of the ball. So, but you know what, our staff that's intact right now really rallied. The players rallied, and we made a pact that we were going to do this together, and we're still doing it together. We still say that word the same way I said it back in the Harvard room back in July when I had to announce to the team that we just lost a coach for life. We're going to have to do this together. We're going to have to stay together and lean on each other, not just player on player, but coach on player.
How tough was it then all of a sudden you start the year, you lose 4 of your first 5, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
because, I mean, you can talk that, you have the kids together, but at the end of the day, they know what's going on the field. How difficult was it after that 5th week?
Well, you try to lean on the assistant coaches, and we had some great meetings, even though we lost some close ones, one to Hamilton, one to East, you know, by a touchdown. And, you know, we leaned on each other, and we really, we knew what we had to do because we had an inexperienced group, and we actually put it into motion. It just wasn't happening until obviously week 6. So I give a lot of credit to the staff and obviously the players, believing in it and staying with it. You know, they stayed with it, you know, and so we're week 10 and we're 5-4 and we're still believing in it, and we're trying to do this together.
Well, what's been the difference the last 4 weeks? I mean, obviously you mentioned a couple close losses early, and certainly Kent McCullough, who's your defensive coordinator. This defense, Mason's always known for its defense, and this year is no exception.
Right. I mean, we've had some great defensive coordinators, Barrick Falk, you know, Todd France, my brother, but you know, Kent's really, you know, being in the building, he's really kind of continued to take that torch and push it on. And I've been very fortunate to have great assistants, but Kent has done a great job with a great group of young men, because we didn't have everybody returning, you know. So I think the defensive staff has a really good morale, and we've been in games like we played Hamilton 7-3, you know, and we had Lakota East, and so this second half of the season that you're talking about was, you know, it was 4-2 Middletown on their homecoming. We go there and we win with seven seconds left. They put us in that position to win with 7 seconds left in the game. You know, Fairfield was kind of 500, and we were playing hard against them, and we were able to get them here, and it was our homecoming. And then Coleraine, and obviously, you know, where we're at right now, week 10, playing against an 8-1 Lakota West team. You know, we like to feel like we got some momentum, but we know what we're up against.
Talk about some of the guys who on the field have been really keys on defense.
You know, I'd be wrong if I didn't mention the captains. You know, we got a junior linebacker, Alex Brown, that's just, he's 10, 12, 14 tackles a night. Noah Dowers, both of those have led that defensive unit on top of John Hendricks and some guys, you know, on the back end. Kaiser Wilhelm, you know, he punts for us, he plays corner, he returns, he does a little bit of everything. We call him the Swiss Army knife, but they've really done a good job of believing in what the plan is from Coach McCullough, and you know, they've continued that. They've taken that torch and continued.
Now, you obviously got to score some points to win some games. So talk about some guys on offense that have really maybe gotten a little better as the year's gone on, and guys you'll need on Friday night against West.
You know, a guy that's really stepped up lately is Temi Adesanya, running back, senior. He's a captain. Our quarterback play has gotten better. Ashton's done a good job. Receivers, I'd be wrong if I didn't mention my son CJ Castner, who I love him, and he'll be playing his last game here. So I get emotional because you got to take the coaching hat off and put the parent hat on, and it's been a great ride. So him and you know, we got some young guys, Jamie and Martin and Wiggins, and you know, some of those other receivers that really have done a good job of catching the ball from Ashton. So sorry about getting emotional, but
let me ask you about that, because I know I've talked to Doug Ramsey when he had all 3 of his boys playing. What's it been like? And is it like when you go home? Some coaches like, okay, we'll talk football when we're at
Mm-mm.
football, and then when we get home. How has that been for you guys?
That's been tough. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be a phony if I lied. It's been tough because he has forgot things like running out on special teams, or you were doing personnel check and he forgets, and coach said he loses his mind, and it's your coach's son. It's just it's others do it, right? But I've struggled. When we get home, I got to take that hat off, and I've told him, and I told the team. I said, I got to get better at that. I got to be better at being able to be a dad. When I get home, I take the hat off and I be a dad. But he's really surprisingly had a pretty good run, a pretty good season, and I'm proud of him. So
Now, the good news is you've won 4 in a row. Maybe the bad news is you play Lakota West.
yeah,
They've won 6 in a row, and
yeah,
obviously 8 and 9, and they've got a plethora of D1 guys. They're really pretty good on both sides of the ball. Their offense has really come alive, and they
yeah.
scored 50 or more points in 5 of the last 6. What are the challenges when you play them? And you played them tough last year. I mean, that was 10-7. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
well, we need to stop their quarterback. I mean, we need to do a really good job of tackling. He doesn't go down on one guy. You watch him. He breaks tackles all the time. He's a tough kid. I wish I could, coach a kid like that. I got some good ones in there, but that kid's going to be up for Player of the Year. Him, and I'm sure Kitna offensively. So that's the biggest challenge. And then obviously playing 4 quarters. We need to play 4 quarters. We've always had one quarter where we kind of let the guard down. Like, even in the Sycamore game, we had, a touchdown early in the first quarter, and that's all they scored, but it's still, we let that down. We can't do that against West and a team that's beat St. X, and they're 8-1, and they're, putting points up like you said they're putting up. And their defense is really good. I mean, their defense is, like I said, I think they got 7 or 8 Division I kids. I'm pretty sure from what I've checked. So they're talented players, and we're really. You say it's it's hard. Are you worried of bad news? Well, it's just a great opportunity for high school football in Cincinnati.
sure. Let me ask you a final question. So I asked Tommy the same question. You guys, he's been a public school, Coleraine, Lakota West success. You've been very successful here. What's the formula? Because I mean, it's there's a lot of private schools, and but to have people at the public schools will say, well, it's cyclical. It's based on your talent, but you guys have always made the playoffs, always been upper echelon GMC.
Right.
What if you had to say is the reason that you've been able to do that year in and year out?
People. I mean, people. My staff is. I've been so lucky to surround myself with great people, and we believe in one thing: doing things the right way, so that we'll own whatever we earn. So I don't care if it's keeping the locker room clean, to how we drive out of the parking lot, to how we practice today. But we know today is about focus and finish. Focus and finish all week. We got to focus in. We got to finish. And if we don't play disciplined football and we don't get to the ball the way we should, then it'll be a long night this Friday. But so I think for us to keep going the way we're doing it, I mean, this is my 15th year as a head coach, 30 years here in Cincinnati. I've been around a lot of great people, and that's what we have here. We have great people here at Mason.